Alrighty guys, welcome to the Nutritional Pyramid. Super exciting one today. We're going to be going through the nutritional hierarchy of importance, just letting you guys know exactly where it is best to put your time and your energy and your effort to see the most results. Starting off guys, nutrition can be very confusing, okay? There is so much information online, there's just so much overload, okay? And a lot of it guys contradicts itself and contradicts one another, which is very tough because we don't know who to trust or what to really believe. When we have this doubt, guys, when we don't really know who to trust, what to believe, what happens is we just don't take action because we don't know if it's going to be worth our time and effort and energy. Today, guys, we're going through Eric Helm's Nutritional Pyramid. He's absolutely amazing. This is probably one of the best systems that we've actually come across as well to help explain what we do. Number one, guys, is obviously the bottom of the pyramid is the most important thing where we should have our time and energy. Number one is calories. Number two is macros and fiber. Number three is micronutrients and water. Number four is meal timing and frequency. Number five at the very top, which is the last bit of importance, is supplementation. Okay. Kicking off, guys, we're going to start with talking about calories. So we're going to go into detail with each one, just to really make sure you guys know exactly what you're doing in each area. So calories, guys, come to a deficit and a surplus. We need to understand these two terms. A deficit basically means we're burning more than we consume. Okay, so this is ideal for weight loss, for fat loss. This is ideal for that sort of transformation. Okay. The second one over here is surplus. Surplus means we're consuming more than we actually burn. So eating more than we burn. Okay. This means, guys, we're going to gain weight. This means we're going to gain fat, but we'll gain muscle as well. Okay. It's obviously the higher you go into a surplus, the more fat you're going to have gained. So it's kind of a sweet spot for muscle gain by going like 200 to 300 to 400 calories over, and that will then minimize the fat storage and just focus on muscle gain. Obviously, this program, guys, you are at a deficit. So the first 6 weeks, the Ultra Reset is focused on a mini cut. So it's a deficit to really get you guys feeling good about yourself and really kick yourself off on a good start. Next thing we need to know about calories, guys, is we need to know the importance of Calorie Foundation. So what this is, guys, it's a strong metabolic foundation for the amount of food someone can consume without gaining fat. To the left here, we've got Jess on 1,000 calories, and then to the right, we've got her on 2,000 calories. And the difference from photo to photo is she's 30 kilos lighter on the right here. Okay, this is only achieved, guys, by really building muscle, building up her calorie foundation, having her able to consume food but then still lose body fat. Okay, and this happens with the right foods and just slowly building her maintenance up over time. Okay, what's really cool as well with her at 2,000 calories, we can then actually prep her for a cutting phase. We can do a 3 to 4 to 5 month cut with her if she wants to get even leaner. Whereas her at 1,000 calories, guys, we can't possibly reduce that. It's not going to happen. If we reduce 1,000 calories down to 900, 800, 700 calories, she's going to get very sick. She's going to lose a lot of muscle, and we're going to do some serious damage to her metabolic rate as well as her hormonal function. It's very dangerous for women as well, especially going under the 1,000, because we can fully do some damage to their menstrual cycle and their overall hormones. Next up, guys, what's very important is calorie consistency from day to day. Okay, so each day needs to have consistency. If your intake looks like this chart here, where it just goes rise and fall, your body loses trust with yourself and it just doesn't know what's going on. And what usually happens here as well is this is when it just keeps storing body fat. If we go from a deficit to a surplus, this is a big thing as well. People go from a deficit from the week into a massive surplus over the weekend. You're basically training your body to store body fat. So it's all about consistency. Note as well, guys, if you have a slip up, we don't reduce calories and macros the following day. We get back to your target, back to that consistency. Okay, that is the number one thing that we want to do. We don't want to jump and basically bring these levels up and down anymore. Okay. Next thing we need to know, guys, is not all foods are created equal. Okay, so wholesome foods carry less calories and more volume. You can see the salad, obviously the avocado and egg salad to the left here. This here is 314 calories, and then you got your McDonald's small chips. This is also 314 calories. Most people, when they're trying to lose body fat, a lot of the time they always think, oh, I just have to eat less. I just have to kind of cut my meals down, my portions down. That's not usually the case. The case is really just changing the type of foods that we have, eating more wholesome foods. And it's amazing how much more you actually eat and how much more fat you'll lose as well doing so. This is a big one as well, guys. This is something that I kind of had to realize when I was younger as well, is you can't outrun a bad diet. Okay, I used to basically train twice a day, basically 5, 6, 7 days a week in that as well. And because of that, I was like, oh, it's all good. I should be allowed to have something on the weekend because I've trained my ass off. But it's so easy to basically consume those calories that you've burnt. This is why exercise is great, but it's definitely not the be-all, end-all to have a body transformation. The transformation comes from routines, habits, and our nutrition. In this little table next to us to the right here, it says here 2 slices of pizza, which is 560 calories. That's a 65-minute spin cycling session out on your bike. The chips as well as 560 calories. I think it's 28 chips. This is a 60-minute Zumba class, which is like dancing. The same with the Coke below here as well, 140 calories, which is 23 minutes of walking. Yeah, so you definitely cannot out-train a bad diet. You have to take care of your nutrition before you start to really implement that sort of side to exercise. Otherwise, you're wasting your time, unfortunately. Next up, guys, level 2 of the pyramid of hierarchy is macronutrients. So this here, guys, what we need to understand, we are going to go into more detail of this for our level 2 coaching. Level 2 is ultra macros. We start to really fine tune macronutrient targets, but I will just mention this today, just so you guys have more clarity and awareness to what this all means. The thing that you need to know today, guys, is protein. So 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. 1 gram of carbs equals 4 calories as well. 1 gram of fats equals 9 calories. So if we have a diet that's high fats, it means we also have a diet that's high calories as well. This is something that a lot of people don't know as well, is 1 gram of alcohol equals 7 calories. It's really quite interesting because people could be like spot on with their macros, but be 300-400 calories over just because of the hidden factor of alcohol. So something we want to be really aware of with our drinking, just so we can still hit our budget and obviously hit our targets if we are having a couple drinks. Not saying you guys can't drink at all, it's just being smart with your alcohol so you don't blow your calorie budget. Awesome, guys, something to note as well. So if you look over to the carbs, we've got obviously in the red box there. So not all carbs are created equal as well. You've got good carbs and bad carbs. Good carbs are the slow releasing carbohydrates. They're basically low GI. Bad carbs are high GI, so they're high sugar-based carbs. These are the carbohydrates that spike your blood sugar, which spike your insulin, which cause fat storage. The only time we're going to have these is really going towards your post-workout, just to minimize that sort of fat storage. Fats, guys, as well. So something to note about fats is there is poly and monounsaturated fats, which they're the good fats, which is on your approved list. But you also have trans and saturated fats. So trans and saturated fats, guys, these are the things we have to stay away from. Trans fats, if you don't know much about them, trans fats are basically found in things like obviously canned food that have a long shelf life. The reason why is it basically helps store that for long periods of time. Very, very bad fats for us, guys. We've got to stay away from these foods as best we can. Saturated fats are mostly from your fatty meats. This is why the approved food list is very important, guys, because we literally run through all the best meats to have. All the meats that are on the approved food list literally have less than 5 grams of fat per 100 grams, and they're very, very, very minimal saturated fats. So definitely use that list as much as possible so we know exactly what we're having. Cool. I love this one, guys. Calories versus macros. So yes, the challenge that you're on now, guys, we are focused on calories for the first 3 weeks. Week 4, 5, and 6, we'll move to calories and protein. Then if we graduate that level there, we then move on to macronutrient coaching further. The difference between the two, guys, calories controls basically weight loss. So you can see the difference between the girl to the left and the girl to the right. So Steph's basically got over here 64 kilos on the left and then 64 kilos on the right as well. Big difference is essentially the fact that to the left here, she's focused on 1,200 calories. She's doing just cardio. She's very much restrictive dieting. If she goes out on the weekend and has a meal out, she's going to put fat on because she has a very low foundation for her calorie intake. Whereas to the right here, she's having 1800 calories, she's doing weight training, her body's metabolism is working very effectively, and hence why she looks so different, okay? She goes out to breakfast, her body knows how to handle that additional calorie intake, whereas to the left, she doesn't know. But yeah, big difference, guys. So calories is obviously weight focus. Obviously, if we focus just on calories, it's more so the weight, which you're gonna lose muscle as well. To the right here, it's more so body composition, okay? So it's able to lose body fat as well as gain muscle at the same time. That's what macros do, so it's a big difference between the two. But yeah, you guys will get to that soon. You guys will advance up to calculating macros over time. Always baby steps though, just so we start small. We don't overwhelm you guys and you feel confident moving forward. Awesome, guys. Micronutrients and water. So very important is obviously potassium, calcium, vitamins, minerals, iron, and water. This, like the big reason for obviously the importance of this here is basically immune system function and health and overall feeling, okay? Your energy levels and just the way that you feel about yourself throughout the day and that as well, just in terms of how well rested you are and how energetic you are. This plays a massive, massive role. Your mental will fine tune this with you as you go as well. So as you go, you guys will work on this together. If we see any issues with obviously any of the minerals or vitamins or iron in that as well, we'll push you guys and give you homework to work on this as well as we build. Awesome. Meal timing, guys, is very important. We have mentioned it in the video above as well. I'm just going to rehash over it again for you guys. So number one time, guys, to have your carbs is post-workout. Like I mentioned before, so when we do our weight sessions, we deplete our muscle stores, we run them dry, okay, so they become depleted and worn. What we need to do then is we need to replenish, we need to refuel them, and the best way to do that is to have your carbs post-workout. If you're going to have a cheat meal, if you're going to go out to lunch or to dinner and that as well, best time to do that would be doing it after a workout, because your muscle stores are going to take a lot of that energy, a lot of those carbs, and they're going to basically take it for themselves, okay? Breakfast is the second best time in that as well, just because you've got all day to burn those carbohydrates off. Pre-workout carbs are very, very beneficial as well, basically because you're about to burn them off straight after or straight during your workout. Protein, guys, so protein, you don't have to have an exact amount of protein for each meal, or you don't have to have 30 grams exactly post-workout. Protein, guys, we just recommend to spread it through the day, just so you're hitting your levels easier. The worst thing is coming up to like 8 o'clock at night time and you're like, I've got still 60, 70 grams of protein left. That means you're gonna have to cook some meat, or you're gonna have to have obviously your protein shakes to kind of hit those levels. You wanna have that dealt with earlier in the day, just so you're not having to obviously do anything crazy at night time when you're getting ready for bed. Looking over to the right here as well, guys, so you're just gonna be very careful with breaking a fasted state with a binge. Okay, if you go 3, 4, 5, 6 hours without eating, you gotta be very careful of the amount of food that you have, especially if you're trying to hit your macros as well. This is why meal frequency is very important. We wanna ideally have small frequent meals throughout the day. Just make your life easier so you're not having to have huge portions to make up for your macronutrients or your calories. Just be careful as well, guys, late night carbs. So your carbs have to be earned and they have to be burnt, okay? So if you're coming up to basically your bedtime, you've got like 60 grams of carbs left. The problem with this here is basically when you have your carbs and if you go to sleep straight after, they're going to sit in your stomach and they're mostly going to be stored as fat for energy, okay? So we want to really have your carbs burnt and your carbs earned throughout the day. We recommend trying to fit your majority of your carbs in basically by 4 p.m. just so you're not stuck with a lot of them coming to bedtime. Awesome. Meal frequency, guys. So the most important thing with meal frequency is like the biggest reason we focus our attention to this is your blood sugar control, okay? For those of you guys that don't know, I am type 1 diabetic, so it's very, very important for me to monitor my levels to make sure my blood sugar isn't going through the roof. If I was to basically not eat all day and then to have massive meals, what would happen then was I'd basically shoot through, like my blood sugar would shoot through the roof and I would have to inject a lot of insulin. We want to really limit the amount of insulin we have coming into our system throughout the day. And the way to do this is to have frequent meals and to have low GI-based carbs so we don't have much spike. On the chart here, guys, you can see the 3 rises in obviously the blood sugar. So for you guys, obviously your levels would sit between 4 to 6. When you peak 6, insulin's going to come into your system hard. So in the chart here, they most likely had some high sugar foods for those 3 meals there, which is why it's shot up so much. And that's when insulin comes in, that's when insulin goes to store. Insulin is not all bad. Obviously, it stores in the muscle stores and the liver stores, but it will also store in fat storage in stores as well. So just gotta be careful with that. So yeah, frequent meals, guys, throughout the day. Doesn't mean you have to have 8 meals. You basically want to have at least 4, just to kind of help control those levels and make it easier for yourself to hit your macronutrients and not be left with too much food at once come nighttime. If you guys are hitting like 1,500 calories in one sitting, you are going to rise your sugar levels by quite a bit, and insulin is going to come into your system because of that. So we want to really spread that out as best we can. Awesome, guys. Last thing to talk about, guys, is supplementation. So supplementation is the final piece of the puzzle. Most people, when they start, obviously, an exercise program or they start wanting to lose body fat, the first thing they go to is supplements. This is not the correct path at all. We can definitely waste a lot of money if we do this. For you guys in your first 6 weeks, the only thing that we'd recommend would be protein powder, just to help you guys assist in hitting your protein targets. Everything else, guys, not worth it right now. There are so many supplements on the market as well that's really just like expensive urine. So we want to really just stay away from most of the guys. We want to focus on our nutrition, your routine, your habits first. Once you've got that mastered, then we'll start to talk about supplements with you guys further, and we'll start to step into that next level, okay? But right now, guys, the main importance is obviously your exercise and then obviously nutrition and your daily habits. Once you've got that nailed down, we'll talk further. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, guys. Pretty big video today, probably a longer one than I've usually done, but a lot of information for you guys to really hone in on. If you guys have any questions, guys, please reach out to your mentor when you see them. Write some notes as well. If you don't quite understand something, write some notes, send it to your mentor, and just talk about that with them when you see them next. Awesome, guys. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. All right, bye, guys.